Hey SPN family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill.
And this is Roadhouse Idiots.
So guys, we are so excited that Supernatural is coming back very, very soon. We will be getting back to our episode recaps. But we did want to talk about something that happened this past weekend at Jaxcon. Congratulations to everyone who was there. It looked awesome. We were not there, but several videos have been posted online. And one of them had quite a lot of comments under it.
It did. So it's a topic that is a hot topic that I know some people have pretty...
Hot topic.
Hot topical.
Hot topical.
But in all seriousness, I think it's a topic that I know that people have very strong opinions on, and then there's people that maybe don't care one way or the other.
Yeah, and I think people have strong opinions both ways, and it is about these two characters right here. I think a lot of you already knew what we were getting to, especially probably by hints on this title. Some of you probably didn't. If I would like to start out by saying, very, very, very carefully here, before we tell you our opinions on this, because I think we both have our fair share of opinions.
I have a developing
opinion on what's happened. I would like to say that I absolutely love all Supernatural fans. Whether you are a Destiel fan or whether you are not a Destiel fan does not influence my opinion of you as a Supernatural fan. I love that ships exist whether or not I ship them. There's a lot of things in this fandom that I personally don't ship. I personally don't think it should be canon. However, I ship that there are ships out there. And what I mean by that is I love that a fan can feel so strongly and so good about something that it creates art, whether that is through drawings or through stories or through music videos or through whatever it is, whatever your outlet is for creating art and for sharing love of something you feel passionate about. That's really cool. Even if I personally do not agree with the ship and I personally don't see it, I can see what people see in it, and I have a lot of respect for people who ship it. I would like to start off with that.
Yeah. So the short version of that is we love everything and we're not out to get anybody. Okay. So what happened at the J2 panel in Jacksonville was Jensen Ackles was posed a question, and you know the question probably word for word better than I do, so I'll just have you say what the question was.
So yeah, the question went along something like this, guys. How come Dean is allowed to have a crush on Dr. Sexy MD, but his love for Castiel, like Destiel, and his bisexuality, Dean's bisexuality, isn't canon? Now, quick reference, for those of you who have never heard the term canon before, because I know a lot of people don't explore the fandom outside of the show.
Yeah.
Inside, anytime something is canon, that means a part of the actual show. Not anything regarding fan art, fan fiction, music videos, anything outside of that, or any thoughts. But canon meaning how come it is not part, how is not considered part of the actual show.
Yep. And Jensen Ackles' answer to that, it was kind of like a two-part answer, but his first answer was very cut and dry, and it was simply Destiel doesn't exist. So I have a developing opinion on it. I want to say developing at this point because I think it's an opinion. So my opinion is in probably 3 parts. So I have like 3 different opinions.
3 different opinions. That's not even side A and side B.
Right?
Like, gosh,
so,
you're such a cheater with these things.
There's been a lot of backlash, a lot of negativity from both sides, and frankly, I just don't think it's warranted.
And shouldn't continue anymore. Right? We did not make this, by the way, guys, to start fights in the comment sections. I don't believe in censorship, so go away with your comments, but keep them respectable.
Yeah, I just don't think it's the fighting is necessary, and here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. So, Jensen Ackles knows Dean Winchester better than you do, better than I do, better than Jill does. He plays the character. He knows the character inside and out. He knows the characters better than the writers do. And the writers are even on record of saying that. So if Dean is going to think a certain way or act a certain way in a particular situation, and Jensen says that Dean is going to be this way, well, I hold that in high regard because, again, nobody knows Dean better than Jensen. Nobody ever will know Dean better than Jensen.
As well as that
period, end of story.
Inevitability when you've played a character your entire life since you were 4 years old.
And the caveat to that is within the show. So here's my second opinion on it. When you deal with any form of art, whether it's a painting, whether it's a piece of music, whether it's a film, whether it's a TV show, whether it's, you know, a book or whatever the case might be, once that piece of work, so like for instance, I'm a musician. When I put a piece of work out on the internet or distribute it whatever way for people to consume, it's no longer mine anymore. It's now that person's to consume that and to interpret that art whichever way he or she wants to, right? So if that means to that person that, you know, whether it's a character in a book or a movie, if they want to interpret that a certain way, he or she has every right to do so, right?
I agree.
So that's
I like that happens.
So again, Jensen knows Dean better than anybody else ever will on this planet. B, anybody is allowed to interpret art any way that they want to, and that's why art is awesome. C, and this is whether you agree with an interpretation or not, it does not give the right to disrespect that interpretation.
Right. On either side. On either side.
Doesn't matter what side.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Art is able to be interpreted by anybody any way that it wants to, and nobody has the right to challenge that interpretation.
You feel. Having said that, guys, and I agree with, I think you stated that very well. I think that was a very good point. I agree wholeheartedly. Jensen Ackles knows Dean Winchester better than anyone else will, because a bunch of people write Supernatural and they have changed over the years. A bunch of people watch Supernatural and you watch that for an hour a week and move on with your life. Now, I understand that there's a lot of fans that watch it way more than an hour a week. I support that. That's cool. But it is not your full-time job. The only person whose full-time job and has been its full-time job to worry about Dean Winchester for 12 going on 13 seasons is Jensen Ackles. Therefore, no one ever will know him better. I've already talked about how I ship ships even if I don't ship it myself. I don't personally ship Destiel. Sorry, guys. But I really appreciate those who do, because some really cool stuff has been made. And honestly, in a way, I think it is responsible for helping the show be along as long as it has. Because you Destiel fans, you guys are like so strong in this fandom, and you have such a strong voice, and you have helped keep this fandom alive. So thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you. However, Jensen Ackles saying that it doesn't exist, guys, you gotta stop taking this to heart. You gotta stop taking offense to this and stop taking it to heart, because here's why. First of all, he knows Dean the best. So if he says that that's how it is, that's how it is. Second of all, it's not like he said this in any way, shape, or form to be negative to bisexuality or homosexuality. I do not want to hear any talk that anyone in this fandom is homophobic, because this is the least homophobic fandom ever. Like, it just is. It really, really is the least homophobic fandom ever. Nobody on that panel is homophobic. That was him simply putting a straight response to a question that he has been asked about 50 times over these conventions.
That's the other thing, too. There was like a tweet put out that says, like, well, Jensen Ackles should keep his opinion to himself. Well, he was asked a question and he gave a straight answer to a question. It's not like it wasn't, I guess, not, I want to say provoked, but his answer was not uncalled for, is what I'm saying.
No,
right?
it was an honest answer to a question. If you were to ask anything about the show, well, how come, and you can ask a lot of questions about the show of things that you don't agree with as far as writing goes, things that you don't dislike, saying, hey, you know what, I didn't like this part of the show, or how come you made this decision? An actor's going to give you their honest interpretation of the role. That's his honest interpretation of that question.
Yeah, and frankly, there's no need to make a stink about it if it's disagreed with.
And that's the thing.
That's it.
And
that's it.
At this point in time, guys, listen, you are perfectly free to ask whatever question you want to, as long as it's approved by the convention guidelines at these conventions. But they're also perfectly free to answer it how they see fit. And for us to, Safe Zone works both ways. So if people aren't allowed to get upset with your questions, you're also not allowed to get upset with their answers.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think I'm not looking here. Listen, to whoever asked the question, I have nothing wrong with your question. I have nothing wrong with you proving a point. Either. So please, we're not, like, if that's you watching or if it's you who had a similar question, there's nothing wrong with asking a question as long as you're cool with accepting the answer that he wants to give to you. And hey, if you ship Destiel, there is a lot of content in the world for you to continue shipping Destiel. It's just not going to happen on the CW on whatever day of the week
and it's not
that
going
it's
to
going to line.
If you go to a convention, it's just
and it's not going to happen with those actors. Having said that, there is a place where it does exist, and there's a place where it will continue to exist. And hey, if you want to do still cosplaying as that, and you want to LARP as that, if you want to write a story about that, listen, go for it. And you have tons of people that agree with you. And that's a really cool thing. And that's part of this family. And so it is a branch of this family. It's just not a branch of this family that's going to happen in this show. I really hope, guys, I really, really hope, if you guys want to have a discussion on this below, go for it. Have a kick-ass, awesome discussion. The only rule we have is I don't want to see any attacks made on either party. You can, I'll say this, you can attack me. If you disagree with what I say, you can attack me. I'm cool with that. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm making an opinion out here so you can be like, Jill, you're wrong. You're an idiot. That is totally cool. But I do not want to see internet attacking on here. Yeah. We're idiots. No, we're idiots. We're idiots is what we are. So go ahead and call us idiots. I'm totally cool with that. But I do not want to see you guys attacking down below different Destiel versus non-Destiel. No. That's not about this. We're all an inclusive family, guys.
Yep.
We want to throw 2 cents out there about this.
And we'll also be at New Jersey Con in September, so if you want to tell us to our faces we're wrong.
Be like, you idiots, you're wrong.
Bring it on.
Or if you want to just tell us, hey, you're cool, let's be friends. I would welcome your friendship as well.
Certainly. Agreed.
Preferably the friendship, but hey, you are entitled to your opinion. As long as, guys, we want to keep it positive here. I don't want to spread the hate. I really, really, really love this fandom, and it makes me a little bit sad when I see the fandom attacking each other with disrespects. Keep in mind, too, guys, with a show that's lasted this long, it becomes very, very impossible for there not to be a large age gap between fans.
Yeah.
And this is not saying anything against older fans or younger fans, but it is inevitably impossible that, I'm just going to say this, and I'm not saying who's right and who's wrong, but 15-year-olds think different than 40-year-olds. 20-year-olds think differently than 30-year-olds. So I just want to say that too. You got to keep that in mind when people are asking questions. Don't discourage their place of coming from in this. Some of us, like you, have only been part of this fandom for how many years? Like 3?
2?
2.5?
Three?
Two
Three.
to 3 years. Some of us
Three now.
have been in this fandom for 12.5, 13 years since season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that also can change how your opinion feels and develops over time, whether or not you're binge watching or seeing it. All that plays into effect. And I like that there's debates, because debates means we get to talk about Supernatural more. I'm always a fan of talking about Supernatural more. That's cool. Just keep it friendly.
It's the bottom line. We're all on the same team.
Same team.
We're all on the same team.
Team free will. So, hey guys, let us know in the comments below your feelings on all of this, as long as you keep it clean. And subscribe to our videos, because now that Supernatural episodes are coming back, we're going to put out videos every Friday with our episode recaps. Don't want to miss them. Thanks so much for stopping by the Roadhouse.
And as always, be cool to each other. Carry on and have a wayward week.
See ya.